Hi, this is Mr. Barr, and in this lesson we're going to take square roots and cube roots of fractions. So our goal is I can solve equations using roots. Why? You're going to need this to do problems with distances and motions in physics. Things like the Pythagorean theorem, which you've already learned, and the quadratic formula, which you'll learn next year. So we're just going to get you ready for next year, working with square roots and cube roots. So do you want to be able to find the distance between points? Do you want to know how a football travels through the air? Well, square roots are used in both those types of problems. So let's just start with a couple, let's start with our notes right now. We're going to go with your name. Here we go. Let me get my notes over for you. So, name. And our title is going to be Roots of Fractions. Roots of fractions. And before we get crazy, let's just practice a general square root. You know what? Let's do it. What's the square root of 4? The square root of 4 is 2. And what's the square root of 25? Well, the square root of 25 is 5. Yeah, nothing crazy there. We've done square roots, and if these were cube roots, we could do those also. But now, what's the square root of 4 over 25? Dun, dun, dun. Well, the square root of 4 over 25 is the square root of 4 over the square root of 25. Which is 2/5. Yep, that is how you do it. Now, if I could simplify this fraction, I would probably simplify it before I do the square roots. But in this case, I can't simplify it. That's what I just taught you. We're looking good. So let's do a practice one here. You know what? No, this won't be practice. So what we're going to do here is before we try to take the square root, we're going to simplify down the fraction. So can we simplify 98 over 2? So in this case, we're going to simplify 98 over 2. Well, what's 98 divided by 2? It's 49. So I'm not going to try to take the square root of 98 and the square root of 2. I'm going to simplify it to a 49, and then I'm going to take my square root, which is 7. So let's do this one. Let's just do this as some practice right now. Keep your notes available, but we'll do this one for practice. So before I try to take a square root, I'm going to simplify this thing down. So when I'm looking at this, let's see if I can draw. There we go. So I'm going to simplify this down. So I'm going to use my calculator. I'm going to do 108 divided by 3. 108 takes me to a 36. So right away, I know this is going to become the square root of 36. So I simplify it. And what's the square root of 36? 6. That one does not have to be in your notes. Let's try another one. I just did that one. Ooh, the cube root. Let's put this one into our notes. Nah, I don't think you need it. Do you need this one in your notes? Yes, let's do this one in notes. So we'll do this one in our notes, coming back to the notes right here. So what we're going to do, we've got the cube root of 1 over 27, which is, well, it's the cube root of 1 over the cube root of 27. What's the cube root of 1? 1. What's the cube root of 27? 3. But if I could simplify the fraction, I would simplify it first. In this case, I couldn't simplify. All right, let's do this one. Why don't you do this one and then type it into the chat feature. All right. I can't simplify it, so I'm just going to go with this. Let's see. This is going to be... So this guy breaks down into the cube root of 27 over the cube root of 125. Cube root of 27 is 3. Cube root of 125 is 5, so it's 3/5. All right, let's do this one. I don't know the cube root of 40. I don't know the cube root of 5, but I can simplify that thing down, so let's simplify it first. This becomes, let's see, what's 40 divided by 5? 40 divided by 5 is 8. Ooh, I know the cube root of 8. Cube root of 8 is 2. I don't know the cube root of 500, and I don't know the cube root of 4, but I think I can simplify that down. Can I do 500 divided by 4? 500 divided by 4 is, ready, is 125. So what I'm really doing is the cube root of 125, which equals 5. So I did 500 divided by 4. That's what I started with. And that's where I got my 125 from. Square roots. Well, I don't know the square root of 6 or the square root of 864, but I can divide those two. So 864 divided by 6. Oh, look at what happens when you divide those. You divide them and you get the square root of 144. And what's the square root of 144? 12. Ooh. Now this is a weird one. It's a square root and a cube root. Any ideas out there? You want to put into the chat feature if you're watching this live? Square root of 4, 2, cube root of 27, 3, 2/3. All right, and that's it for this lesson. Hey, thank you for watching. Have a good day.